Hello everyone, welcome to another week's Tint Wisdom. My name is Eric and this is my favorite day of the week. It's Tuesday, and what that means is for the next hour we'll be doing the Tint Wisdom that we do every single week here on our Facebook Live page. Now, Tuesday was my favorite day of the week. Now I have two favorites. The other favorite day of the week is now Thursday. The reason being we added Thursday to our Tint Wisdom lineup. We do a different format on Thursday. On Thursday we do plus guests. So what that means is I move over to the side, there's a guest on the screen, and every week we'll have a different guest from the window film industry, all different aspects of the industry, so that we can get each and everyone's individual, unique perspective, their best practices, their tips, their experiences, and so on. And it just, I think it's just so beneficial when we can, network with each other. Something that the Facebook groups do really well, something that I'm trying to achieve with these videos, and I think we can further achieve by having guests on. So that's every Thursday, same place, same time, and just like every episode of Tint Wisdom, you can also find these on our Facebook after they're recorded live, as well as on our YouTube channel. And then more recently, you can find them in the like iTunes, Apple Podcast. So we do an audio version in the podcast section of like Apple Podcasts, and the reason for that is, we got a lot of feedback from different people who watch and listen to it, and like listening to this is something that some people like to do in the car or while they work, and they might not have the opportunity to actually watch it. So podcasts are the best way to do that. So check that out. Subscribe to the Apple Podcast if you want to listen to the audio version. So I'm going to pull up the comments and then we'll get started. So give me 1 second to pull this up. And we'll get going. And then this is going to be our new background. This was used last Thursday, and I like it, so I'm going to stick with it. Let me know what you guys think, but I think this is going to be it from here on out. So we have about 17 people watching, so that's a crowd. I'm going to get going and in today's topic. So I like to start out with a quote. Today's quote is one you may have heard before. It's one that I absolutely love. It's one that I remind myself daily, and it really falls in line with today's topic. So it's, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. So, I am going to, hang on 1 second. Let me just go ahead and double check. I want to make sure everything's working correctly. Could you leave a comment if this is still working for you? If it's frozen or if it doesn't sound right, please leave a comment, let me know, and I'll take care of any issues before moving forward. Just want to make sure. So if we're still streaming, if we still sound and look good, please just leave a comment and I will move forward. Okay, looks like we're good. So the quote, once again, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. I'm going to get more into the interpretation of that quote, how I apply the quote. But before we do that, I do want to jump into some Facebook posts like we do every week and go from there. So moving on, and then we'll circle back to this quote and the topic. Oh, the topic of the day. So today's topic, I almost forgot. Today's topic is on it's on networking, but more specifically the up and coming dealer meetings. So February, March are typically the months where the window film manufacturers, the PPF manufacturers, and so on host dealer meetings for their dealers. And these are things that I've always found important to attend. I've attended, as many as I can for the last 6 or 7 years. And I know some people obviously like to attend and you see familiar faces. Others might not be aware of the value. So I want to discuss, what I've been able to take from them and how I see the best perspective on going into the dealer meetings to be able to extract the most value. So that's going to be today's topic. That goes in line with today's quote. And before we move any further, let's jump into the Facebook topics and then we'll circle back. So first post is by Adam Esco in the Window Film Revolution. So this post is just straight up funny to me. I just think this is a very creative way to make a window film funny, or, it's obviously something that's going to resonate with only people in the window film industry most likely. But what's going on here is obviously a heat box, and little elf roasting marshmallows on the heat box. So super cute, super cool way to decorate your place, and bring people's eye over to the heat box. They're going to wonder what that marshmallow is doing over there, and that's a perfect opportunity to explain them with an introduction other than you trying to upsell them and actually piquing their genuine interest. So really good job, Adam. I mean, I love it in your shop, and I love that you shared it with us, because I kind of get a little giggle every time I would come across it in my feed. So thank you everybody for joining. What's up, Lewis, Jake, Jesus, Betsy, Michael, Priscilla? Thank you all, everybody else who's watching that I don't see your name in here. I definitely appreciate you watching live. Helps me feel like I'm not just talking to myself. So I appreciate you guys joining in and taking the time. So moving forward from here, this is the Tinstitute, and that's a 1970 Honda 70cc that Austin gave away this week. The giveaway is done, so it's not a reason to go follow him, but it is a reason because I'm sure there'll be other giveaways. But more importantly than the giveaways is the value he provides each and every day on his Instagram. You can also find him on YouTube. This isn't a paid promotion for him. We don't do any paid promotions for anybody. I am going to mention some products coming up on this episode, and obviously I've mentioned some in the past. Absolutely nothing's paid. The way this works is my mission statement with these Tint Wisdoms is to bring you guys the most value possible. So sometimes that's going to be showing you things in Tint Wiz, the app. Sometimes that's going to be pointing out posts that I see online that I want to bring to your attention. Sometimes it's going to be topics that are on my mind. And then, of course, I feel like bringing guests on is going to add tremendous value. But the point being is, when I mention a product, it's because I think it can bring value to you guys. None of this will ever be sponsored. So please understand, if you want to take my advice, go follow him. If you don't. But I really think that over time you'll see the value in what Austin provides. I love what he's doing. He is truly one of those people who is educating and elevating the industry. So I just think he deserves as much credit as can be given. So that was the Honda he just gave away. But like I said, there's more reasons to follow him. And I'm actually wearing a hoodie from the Tinstitute. So this is the Pit Panda, and that was the name of this bike. And this is a really comfortable hoodie. So yeah, that's Austin from the Tinstitute. Moving on, this is by Mark Porter in the Window Film Revolution. He's asking for suggestions to use for gift certificates. Any suggestions? We're coming up on Christmas. There's only a couple weeks left. You really don't have too much time. So what I suggest you do is check out the Tint Wiz's Facebook page. Scroll down, you're gonna find a post. And we actually created we got together with Carrie from Iron Duck Designs, and we created a gift certificate template that's free for everyone to use. There's no branding on it. Doesn't say Tint Wiz, doesn't say a logo, doesn't say anything. All it is a gift certificate that's ready to go, ready to customize. You can just add your logo, add your information, or you can get with Carrie from Iron Duck Designs, and she will do it for you absolutely free of charge. So that's one way to get a gift certificate in your hands within just maybe a couple hours, maybe a day at most. So I believe that's your best option. What you have here is example sheet customized for TNT, and then below that's one that was customized for Mike at Day and Night, or Day to Night rather, and he actually printed them out. So that's actually a picture of the printed versions. And then you can see a couple more designs we did for Chris at 5 Star, and we also did this one for so moving on from there. So this is a product. This is not like I said, this is in no way a sponsored post. This is a post about ExoShield that Garrett made. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I just keep hearing great things about ExoShield. I was just on the phone with Mike Powell from Day to Night maybe 30 minutes ago, and he was talking separately, just on his own, about ExoShield and some training he plans to do. I see Marissa in the Window Film Revelation group. She's always a cheery, positive inspiration. And, beyond that, it's just, they seem to have really good product training. They seem to have really good support. So what I'm saying here is, if you're not into PPF, if you're into PPF, this may be a company to check out, a manufacturer you want to check out. I know they're offering training, and that's one thing that I think is just awesome over the last few years is the abundance of training options you have. Whether you do a training with a manufacturer, or you do it online with one of the many window film schools like certifiedtinter.com, or you go to like Tint Stuff or Window Film Business's YouTube page, or you have even if you have like, there's trainers that come to your shop. So there's a plethora of ways to get trained, which is awesome if you're looking to get into the window film industry, if you're looking to sharpen up your tools and improve your installations and speed, and then also if you're looking to expand. So if you have an employee, you can send them to a PPF class, and in a 2, 3, 4-day class, you'd be surprised how good they can come back and how well versed at installing PPF they can get in just a few days with the right training, and especially with the use of a plotter. So take advantage of those schools. I really think that regardless of where you're at in the business, whether you're a one-man band, whether you have a crew, or whether you're looking to get into the industry, take advantage of the training, because the stuff you learn now will save you time, will save you money, and you'll be able to use that moving forward. So don't assume what you don't know yet. Just try to be open to learning as much as possible. So check out ExoShield, and thank you, Garrett, for the great post in the Window Film Revolution group. So moving on from there, we have a post from the Window Film Pros. This is from Justin. He just posted this, and he asked if anyone's ever tried to discourage a customer from a certain type of film because you just didn't want to work with it and have to install it. I have a customer that wants to install dusted crystal to the side lights and custom cut lines, gaps in the film to design to their specification. Can I do it? Yes. Do I want to do it? No. And no amount of money will change my mind. I question that, but we'll get to that after. Continuing on, except no amount of money will change your mind. I don't know, but let's keep going. Even though they seem willing to pay, I just don't want to do it. It's right up there with installing security film. It's not fun. I never feel satisfied that I charge enough money for the work, even after I do it. I guess I feel guilty about all of this, but my happiness and sanity are more important. I also don't want to get burned out on window film because it's been good to me and I have anywhere to go. So I want to kind of unpack this, and at the same time, please feel free to use the comments. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. This is a great post. So Justin, great post. I see a lot of layers to this post and to this onion. And one that just jumps out to me is the reason for the post. So, towards the end, he said that he feels guilty about all of this, but, his happiness and sanity are more important. So he feels guilty about not wanting to do what the customer wanted. So moving on, to some of the comments, and then I'll, kind of give my perspective. So Jeff made a suggestion to use Lumar poly dusted crystal, like working with regular film. It's a polyester based film, not vinyl. You won't have the 3M dusted crystal, like the issues that 3M dusted crystal brings. So some of those issues are, dusted crystal, it's a thin like vinyl, like depending on where you're getting it, and it can crease very easily. It can tear. It can just kind of be a nightmare to work with. And then as Jacob posted in one of the comments that I don't have a screenshot of, it's even worse to remove. Now, the reason Jeff's comment's so great is because when you try dusted crystal from different manufacturers, like the Lumar one he's mentioning, there's actually a variety of ways to achieve the dusted crystal with completely different types of films that are dusted crystal. They're going to allow that same amount of light in and so on, and obscuring the view without looking like frost, but they're completely different to work with. So I think, Justin, the best solution for you here is try some different manufacturers' dusted crystal, find one you like working for, and give the customer what they're looking for. If they're looking for dusted crystal, you don't want to give them something that's going to let in less light or more light, or you give them the dusted crystal. Just find the one that you like working with, and Jeff's suggestion is a great one. Now, the other thing that I want to touch on that is relevant to this post as well as this post, because is a plotter. So a plotter would, I think, be essential if you're getting into the PPF game. So if you want to get into PPF, certainly you can learn how to cut it all, but you want to get yourself a plotter with PPF. You may not use a plotter for window film. I definitely understand that. Some people are actually faster with hand cutting than plotting. I know some of you take maybe an hour and a half to do a car, and you just can't understand how somebody could do a clean job in 45 minutes or 35 minutes, but there are tinters out there that can do it. Don't worry yourself on that. Just worry about improving your own skill, your own speed, and your own efficiency. But when it comes to PPF, Plotter, absolutely recommend it. It's going to be a game changer. I think it's just critical. I don't think you can do it without a plotter, in my opinion. Though obviously you technically can. I don't think you should do it without a plotter. So get a plotter. Now the reason it's so like relevant about the plotter, because then you get into this one, and Justin's talking about custom cutting designs, you know, reveals and so on. And there's no easier way to do it than a plotter. So a plotter would have him, you know, cutting these designs perfect. He's going to go up there, slap it on there, remove the transfer tape, get out of there, and it's going to be a lot easier than trying to line up those cuts and doing it manually. And then you don't want to cut on the glass. A lot of times you're doing this on conference room glass, and some of those sides of glass can be super soft, and you can scratch them with even a scrubby pad. So I definitely recommend a plotter. And then the third reason I want to recommend a plotter, and I recommend a 60-inch plotter, which is typically about the largest size you're going to find them, is because a plotter is going to open you up to a whole other side of business. So a plotter can take you from, it can make you more efficient in your window tinting, right? But then it can allow for custom cut designs and PPF. So, you know, okay, so I said that in the wrong order. Okay, so let's start again. So a plotter, it can help you be more efficient with the window film, right? And it can also expand you out into PPF, but it can take you even further into graphics and custom cut like vinyl for commercial and residential purposes, mainly commercial. But you know, residential too want reveals and so on, so they can see out their frosted windows. So a plotter is going to be one of those tools that you can use across your entire business. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to use the plotter. There's plenty of training, and it's actually rather easy. You don't have to be too tech savvy to use a plotter or the programs that are attached to them. And then, you know, out of those three reasons I mentioned to get a plotter, you know, two of those are going to be services that you're going to find more popular during the winter. So, or not more popular, but I mean is not less popular. So with like automotive window tinting, you might find a drop in business. And of course, flat glass, you're going to notice a drop in business, as a lot of flat glass tinting is related to heating. And then also you combine that with holiday months where people are traveling for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you just end up with less business in flat glass. However, when it comes to PPF, people are still getting brand new cars, and the first thing you want to do when you get a brand new car is protect it. And then people are also with PPF, and then people are also opening businesses and preparing for the next business year. So that's where graphics come into play. So, and even frost and so on. So you want to have those tools in your arsenal and your lineup so that you can stay busier throughout those years. Another one that comes to mind, not really plotter related, but would be like security film. There's no time of the year where security isn't needed. So security film is one that if you're not advertising, if you're not doing, you want to add to your lineup, because it's not only going to make you more money throughout the entire year, it's going to most importantly keep you busy on those slow months where you have, you know, more time in your hands and less to do. And then hopefully you're maxed out during the summer and you're doing absolutely everything you can. So add a plotter, get a wide plotter. Yeah, you can do most cars with a 36 or 48-inch plotter, but what happens when you have a big windshield? What happens when you get a call for graphics? What happens when you have a giant hood or bumper? Like, you're gonna wish you had a bigger plotter. So get the biggest plotter. It's a little bit more upfront, but it's going to pay you back in the long run. And then as far as brands, the two that I recommend would be Graphtec. Graphtec's one of, something that I've used very much in the past. And I just, I know from personal experience, I can recommend. And then one that I actually learned about, I know I'm familiar with Roland. I use their printers for years, but Roland's plotters, Patrick from the window tinting business had mentioned on his live stream last week that he prefers, or he likes Roland's, works with Roland. So definitely, if he's using a Roland, you can 100% take that as a sign you can use a Roland as well. So moving on from this post. Okay, so this post is about these cards. So this was a post in the Window Tinters United that was posted yesterday from Carl. He received some cards from us, and I just wanted to take a second, explain what these cards are, and also give you the opportunity to get these cards. But before I do that, give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are tri-edge cards. So these are tri-edge cards that we had made. These were a collaboration with Tint Wiz and Tri-Edge. So a couple things I want to clear up from this post. First of all, we are not selling these. We are giving them away. So they are completely free. Now, the concept with these were, I met Jay rewinding back, I met Jay at this year's window film convention. I had seen the Tri-Edge tools, but I had never, met him. I hadn't really used them or anything. I had bought them before, but anyway, I met Jay, and we're talking. He's an awesome guy. He's telling me about how these things are created, what his process is for creating tools and so on, and his experience and past in the window film industry. And as I'm talking to him in Indianapolis, people are just walking by and asking questions about the Tri-Edge, talking to him, saying how much they love the tools and so on. And like the Tint Wizdom light bulb went off, and I was like, Jay, we got to create some of these for our users. So we did exactly that. Jay created a purple version of the Tri-Edge tools, of these Tri-Edge corners for Tint Wiz users. He made them purple, which was no easy task, and then he put our logo on them, which he can tell you was absolutely no easy task. And that just, Jay is one of those guys who finds solutions. He'll tell you like, hey, we have this problem, and what you can expect after he finishes is him telling you how he already solved it. So this was awesome. I really appreciate the legwork he went through to be able to get these logos on here. And then what we did was, these are for our Tint Wiz users. So we started sending them out, and then they started posting about them in the groups. People started asking about them. So we decided, why not spread the love, send them to everybody who wants them. And this was a post from Carl. He received his, he loved them. These have been a huge hit. So what I'm saying is, if you want to get your hands on these, if you don't have them yet, if you're a Tint Wiz user, jump into the support and just ask in the chat, or shoot us a message on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. Or you can message me directly if we're friends on Facebook. If you're not a Tint Wiz user, you can absolutely get these for free anyway. You can do it the same way. Just shoot us a message on social media. What I just need from you is your address, and we'll send you a bunch of these cards. We are running low. We had the first run of these, or the run of these, were 5,000, and we have about 1,500 of these left before I fulfill all the people who requested them in the Window Tinters United. So basically what I'm saying is, if you'd like these, leave your address. What you can also do is tag your shop, or just type your address in the comments here. And if you put them in the comments here, I'll reply. I'll get these shipped out to you, and you'll have a bunch in just a couple days. So these are the Tri-Edges. Once again, we're not selling these. We have no plans to sell tools. The only thing we do is the app. But what we also want to do is we want to take products, services that we see are benefiting people in the window film industry, and bring them to our Tint Wiz users, bring them to the industry. If you're not using Tint Wiz now, no problem. We're still friends, and we still want to give you stuff like this. So leave a comment. We'll send you these out. Once they're gone, they are gone. The way I have this planned out is, we already have like a lineup of other products that we want to bring you. So most likely, once these are gone, for the time being, they will be gone. We'll be moving on to the next product. We just want to keep introducing you to different things that are out there, because there's a lot out there, and it's exciting and fun. So that's that. Thank you, Patrick. Preach on that PPF. PPF. $850 for a partial front end to $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 for a full car. It's the perfect add-on for a $200 window tint job. So PPF, I can't say enough about it. If you're not doing it, get to it as quick as possible, because the way things are going, people do look for that one-stop shop. They want to be able to go in, get their tint done, their PPF, their ceramic coating, and anything else you have to offer them. So make sure you have those offers available, because you don't want to find yourself catching up in the future. It's better to embrace it, lean into the wind, and get ahead of it, move forward. So dry shrink prep. This is a product from Patrick from the window tint business that I've mentioned many times, and I'll continue to mention, because it is not only a product that I've heard an amazing million comments about, but it's related to health. So when you talk about health, when health is something that should be brought up, I'm going to bring it up, because at the end of the day, if there's a healthy alternative, if you're putting yourself at risk in using a certain product, I think you should know, you should be aware, and hopefully you try an alternative. And the product I'm talking about is traditional dryer sheets. So traditional dryer sheets have become a popular topic because of how, people are actually having adverse reactions to dryer sheets just from using them and being around them in laundromats and in clothing and so on. So you can imagine if you're a tinter and you're using them every day to prep the car windows, how much your hands and you're inhaling the dryer sheets. So what Patrick's done is Patrick's found a healthy alternative that's not only healthier, it's less expensive than dryer sheets, it works better, it's easier to use, it's refillable. I mean, the whole thing is just a great scenario. So if you haven't tried dry shrink prep, check it out. The reason I can tell you, again, none of this stuff's paid, it will never be paid. These are my recommendations from either people I've heard and trust or from my personal experiences. And this one particularly, dry shrink prep was one of those things that we actually, we saw the value in a month or so ago. We got some from Patrick and we actually distributed it to a lot of our users to try out. And then the feedback that they were responding with is how I know this product, as new as it is, I mean, it's been out for maybe, 6 or 7 months or a year or so, but I can tell you, we sent out probably 100 of these dry shrink preps and we heard back from about 70 people talking positively about their experience with the dry shrink. So like dry shrink prep. So like for that sort, like that's how we knew, like that's how you're doing a good job with like getting products across, or like, we know we're doing the right thing is because of the positive feedback. Same with these cards. I didn't expect, certainly what I'm trying to do here, the mission statement is provide as much value for everybody as possible. And, you hit like the head on the nail, and, it's a little pat on my back, but like it is what it is when there's so much positive feedback about these. So this is an inspiration. Patrick's products are inspiration. The success of these cards are inspiration, just to find more products and more services and more ways to provide value. So Patrick, keep up the good work. What I'm trying to point out here is Patrick launched dryshrinkprep.com. So this is where you can buy it. This is where you can try it and get with it. If you're not using it, like just Google what potential health hazards you can get, like potentially cancer. Everything causes cancer, but you don't want to speed up the process. And then even like asthma, like there's instances related to asthma and other respiratory issues that come from traditional dryer sheets. So make the switch, check it out. Stan Foster, thank you for joining in. Stan Foster is another trainer. At the beginning of this, I was mentioning that I think every window tinter can benefit from training. And Stan Foster's definitely a giant in the industry and a trusted trainer. So check him out as well if you're looking for in-person training. Chris mentioned that DSP is the best, period, and he is right. That's right, period. DSP is the best option for that. So Ed said, for sure, Chris Queen, thanks to Jason from Tint Dude. I think I now use it. So here you go. Like, I mean, we have 19 people watching the stream live, and we've had, 2 or 3 comments in the last minute on people that are saying that they love dry shrink prep. So definitely check it out. And then Window Tinting Business does go live. So we go live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So sticking with the Eastern calculation of that time, Patrick goes live on Window Tinting Business at 9 p.m. So we usually run up about an hour and change, and then you get a little break, and then you jump on YouTube, Window Tinting Business. They do a Let's Talk Shop. It's a variety of topics. Patrick's show is something that I always watch after doing this, and something I recommend you watch. So watch it in YouTube. You can also do the notification thing, and that helps you never forget that he's going live. So definitely check out that live stream, and I'll see you in the comments. So Nick said in the Window Tinting Business, so this was actually a post in the Patrick's group, Window Tinting Business. Anyone that does car dealerships, are you charging them full price or are you giving them a discount? I'm thinking about stopping into some, but not sure what price to present to them. Any info would be appreciated, thanks. So honestly, I would put that time into getting flat glass jobs. And then Sammy mentioned that Eric's right, in-house preloaders and so on. So basically, the idea with dealerships are, you have to understand, you have to look at dealerships like you look at customers, just regular like customers that bring you their car. There's some customers that are going to be willing to pay more, and there's some that are going to be willing to pay less. Now, what you do have to keep in mind is, they are trying to upsell window film to their customers, and they're not necessarily equipped to tell a customer that window film is going to be, hey, it's $600 they want to pay you, so it's going to be $1,200 they need to charge, and so on. Like, they need to, like, they're salespeople. They're just going in trying to sell the window film as an upcharge. So they're typically not going to be commanding the highest prices for those window film installations. So because of that, they're going to be looking to protect their margin, and they're going to do that by trying to get the lowest cost options. So what Sammy was mentioning in his reply was, a lot of times manufacturers, unfortunately, and dealers are just trying to put an in-house window tinter at the lowest cost possible, just to bang out, quality aside, and just get that done. Some window film manufacturers have gone kind of behind dealers' backs, put a plotter in there, and said, hey, look, we can save you money. We'll help train one of your guys, and this is a way you can, increase your margin, and so on. With that said, there's plenty of other dealers who do appreciate the quality that you can build a relationship with, and they're going to bring you not only tint jobs, but then PPF jobs and so on. And some of them are going to be open to you providing assistance in how they upsell the window film. So what I'm trying to say in this long-winded answer is, go into dealer. If you're looking for more work, dealerships are absolutely an option. Go into them with the same open-mindedness as you do a customer. And most importantly, price it at the price that you feel it's worth it for you. Okay, so everybody's going to have a different number when it comes down to that, but always price it at a price that you're happy doing it today, you're happy doing it in 6 months, and of course, you want to factor in things like Eric Kimpel in the comments mentioned, which is, what is your opportunity cost? So yes, you could maybe make some money, doing cars at the dealership, maybe for a less markup than you would in your shop. However, could you better apply that time to building the flat glass end of your business, or the PPF end of your business, or vinyl, and so on? And where would you see yourself in a year or in 2 years? That route, the other route, and find whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong answer with this. You might want to take that dealership work now, and you might want to raise your prices in 6 months and move over to PPF and so on in your shop. I mean, it's completely up to you, but dealerships are absolutely a viable option. What you shouldn't do is don't agree to a price that you're not happy with, because when you agree to a price you're not happy with because you're desperate, maybe because of the maybe because it's winter or so on, then what's going to happen is, in those summer months, you're not going to want to do it, and you're going to end up burning a bridge with that dealership. It's going to frustrate you. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time, and basically you're going to have to break up with the dealer, break up with the situation you created in an unpleasant way. So just look at it, consider it all year round, give them the price, give them your best spiel, your best presentation, show them why you're the most reliable, and so on, because dealers may be price shopping, but they do want you to show up because they're making an appointment with their customer, and they do want the quality to be right because it reflects on their dealer. So go in there, explain that to the dealer, and get the dealers that are willing to pay you what you want to get paid. And don't worry about the ones who aren't going to get paid you, or aren't going to want to pay you. There's more fish in the sea. Chris Queen said wholesale price on dealership cars. Absolutely. You're definitely going to have to give a discount. So if I wasn't clear on that, that's a great point, Chris. Thank you for bringing that up. You definitely need to give them a discount. They're marking your price up, and they're selling it to their customers. So they're not going to be able to take your retail price, sell it for a higher price, and then have you come do the job. That doesn't make sense. Consumers would just come directly to you or go somewhere else. So you definitely have to give them a discounted price, make it worth it. Try to batch their cars in back to back to back, so you're making that trip to the dealer, you're banging out a bunch of cars in a row. Sometimes dealers are having you do cars that are going to sit on their lot, and other times they're having you do cars that have been sold already to a customer, and then in that case maybe the customer is dropping it off, or maybe it hasn't left the dealership yet. So anyway, there's a lot of variables in the dealership, so do what works for you. Try to make it worth it for you. If not, move on. So moving on from there, thank you for everybody who's watching. We have 19 people watching live right now, so I appreciate it, and thank you for the comments. So we're done with the Facebook post part of this Tuesday's wisdom, and what we're going to do is move on to the topic. And again, that topic is the up and coming dealer meetings, the manufacturer dealer meetings, where you go for maybe a day, maybe 2-3 days. Sometimes it's a destination, and you're there meeting with the manufacturer, hearing their newest newest products, changes to their marketing. Usually there's some training involved, and so on. and you're networking with other tinters and people in the industry. So this is kind of what I want to take a deeper dive into and unpack. And at the same time, what I would like from you guys, from you all, to do is, while I'm giving you my perspective on the dealer meetings, feel free to please leave a comment and let me know what things have you taken away from previous dealer meetings that you might have attended rather, and what did you like, what did you dislike, what were the highlights of the meeting, and what were the lowlights of the meeting. If you haven't gone to the meetings, please tell me some of the reasons you haven't. What comes to mind? Was it a financial thing? Could you not, leave your shop alone? Did you not want to be closed? Do you not have help? But, was it you just didn't see the value? I'm curious on everybody's contributions to that topic. And then, from here on out, I'm going to give you mine, and then I'll obviously read any comments and so on. So, first and foremost, well, let me actually get this comment from Chris. Chris said, focus on the dealership until your retail can keep the business rolling, then dump the dealerships. Lot too much of a pain. So, Chris, I won't say you're wrong, because like you're saying, the dealerships have a role, maybe temporarily, maybe during those slower months, but then once you get your own thing going, for sure, you're going to have more profit, more return from, doing your own thing if you can capture those customers, bring them into your shop. However, consider some other aspects to this. Number one, some dealers will bring you paint protection film as well, and that's going to have a higher markup, okay? Number two, some dealers will they'll upsell the customer, but then they'll actually send them to your location to do the tint. And in that case, it becomes kind of like a low price referral, and you also have them in your shop, and that's an opportunity to go ahead and upsell them from there. It's also an opportunity to get a good review and so on. So, I get it that, when you're doing low cost tint jobs for a dealer, it may seem unappealing, but it really is all about that individual relationship you build with the dealer, how you expand on it, what you're getting for pricing, what you're doing at your own shop, how busy you are, and so on. And like I said, just do what's right for you, and take everybody's advice, because when you listen to everybody's advice, you're equipping yourself with the tools you need to make your own decision moving forward. It's not about believing one person or trusting one person or two people or three people, because, I wouldn't even tell you just, hey, trust everything I say. Certainly you can trust that everything I say is credible and honest and valuable. But what I'm saying is, you have to listen to what I say. You have to listen to what everybody says. Listen to what's in the comments here. Listen to what everybody says, because when you listen to everybody, you're able to make your decision, because the right answer isn't just what I'm providing, and not just what Chris is saying, and not just what Patrick says in his live streams. The actual right answer is a combination of what everybody's saying. Not everybody, because some people just have bad advice, but there's a lot of people with good advice, and it's all unique and different advice. You really want to keep an open mind, focus on what you don't know, listen to what you haven't heard, and do a little less. Sometimes I just try to remind myself, when I'm in networking scenarios, to do less talking and more listening, because when you're talking, you're definitely providing value, and you want to do that, and there's a right time and place for that. But you also want to do a good amount of listening, because when you're listening, you're absorbing what everybody else is saying. When you're talking, you're saying what's in your head, and you can hear yourself talk all day. If you are lucky enough to be in the presence of other people that have something to say, sometimes it's great to just and listen to what they have to say. That is why, after doing an hour or an hour and a half of Tint Wisdom, I don't miss Patrick's live stream, because everything he has to say, it's different than what I had to say. It's different than what I thought. The people that contribute in the comments, I get so much value out of that it's not going to be something I'll miss. And there's never enough window tint talk in one night, in my opinion. So anyway, that's that. And now going back to the topic, which is networking, when you're at these dealer meetings. So let's jump into my experiences and so on, and then I'll check out what the comments have to say about your all experiences with the dealer meetings. So first and foremost, my opinion is, every year, if you can afford it, go to as many dealer meetings as you're invited to, regardless of how many you've gone to, and regardless of your predisposition of what you may or may not learn. So go into it with an open mind. Now that open mind is going to be the difference most likely whether you get value out of it or not. Because if you go into a meeting and you're critical about the speakers and you're critical about the information and you're looking around kind of like saying stinking snarky comments and so on, and you're thinking about how much you know, you've cut yourself up to learning. So what I'm saying is, the way to absorb the most you can from these meetings is go in with that open mind. That's going to be your first step. Now, what you're going to get out of the meetings, everybody's going to get something different out of the meeting, but I can guarantee you, if you go to the meeting, if you go to 2 meetings, 3 meetings, as a whole, you are going to get something out of it, and I bet you it's going to be something big. And the reason why it's so important is because you can pick up some small bit of information. You might pick that up from the speaker. You might pick it up from somebody who works for the manufacturer when you're talking. You might pick it up from the person sitting next to you at the dinner for the manufacturer meeting. You never know, but these little bits of information can be game changing for you. These relationships can be game changing for you moving forward. Okay, so you never know what you're going to learn. You have to keep an open mind. Okay, so go to the meetings. You're going to absolutely want to go to the meeting. You're going to want to talk to people. So if you go to the meeting and you sit there quietly, you don't network, you don't talk to people, you may still leave there feeling like you learned a lot, but you've eliminated one part of the meeting that's super critical, which is that community, which is that networking. Talk to everybody you can. Some of those people may be people that are in your area, so you may feel like you're in a room full of competition that may want to make you tighten up and be like, I don't want to contribute, or F that guy, he's my competition, or whatever it is. Let me tell you, the best way to alleviate yourself of any of that stress of competitors is 2 things. Look at everybody like there is no competitor. First of all, look at everybody like a friend. So whether you share a manufacturer with the person who sells window film or paint protection near you, or whether they sell something else, whether they're down the street or whether they're 100 miles away, it doesn't matter, because what are they going to do? They can't steal your business. There's no such thing as stealing somebody's business. Now, they might be able to earn your customer's business, and that may appear to you like them stealing your business. But what they actually did was they did something to make themselves more valuable to your customer than you did. And now that may seem like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want that to happen? Well, news is you can't really stop that from happening. That's going to happen. So when I say you want to lean into it and you want to embrace those challenges, that's the only way to rid yourself of those feelings completely. And when you rid yourself of the feeling of worrying about competition and you go into it with focusing on how to improve your own business, how to improve your own your own customer experience, then what happens is you start earning their business. Okay, so it's not about watching them and trying watching them build their business and then trying to take a sledgehammer and tear it down. It's not about seeing what their sign or their social media posts say and then talking bad about them. It's not about competing on price and seeing who can lower their price the lowest. Okay, it's about providing the best experience for your customer and the most value. And I can guarantee that if you share knowledge with your fellow window tinters, whether that be at a window film manufacturer meeting or you do it at in a Facebook group, collecting all those ways to provide more value for the customer and putting your mindset there is going to be one that will outperform your competitor every single day of the week. And it also gets rid of that stressful little knot you have in your stomach when you feel like you're worried about your competitor. Okay, so when you focus on yourself, you're able to go a lot further than when you focus on what your competition is doing. And the way to completely eliminate competition, so there is no competition, is eliminate your competition. They don't exist. Those people aren't your competition. They're fellow window tinters. So look at them as fellow window tinters, people that are in the same industry as you, people that share the same passion and the same love as you, people with the same common interest, because your common interest and goal is to, provide a great customer service, provide a great customer experience, and make some money. And there's enough windows around for everybody. So yeah. definitely keep an open mind there. So that's my spiel on why you should be going to these window film conventions or window film manufacturers meetings. You know, the window film convention, just to tell a little, to tell a little story, like, I mentioned earlier that I had met Jay from Tri-Edge at the window film convention. Now, if I hadn't met Jay from Tri-Edge at the window film convention, these things wouldn't exist. Now, I did not go into the window film convention dreaming to create cards that people would find so much value and it would be able to bring so much happiness to people. Like, I had no idea, but like I went there with an open mind. I'm talking to Jay. I'm not the most I'm more of an introvert. I don't necessarily, like I'm not the guy who's just like the center of life and center of attention. So it is a bit of a challenge to talk to people. With that said, same goes for these videos. Before Tint Wisdom, I don't know how many times you could find me on video, but it's like less than 10 or less than 15. Now we've done 16 or 17. I think this is the 17th. I think I said this was the 16th Tint Wisdom, but I think this is actually the 17th Tint Wisdom. And now it is something that I absolutely look forward to every single day. I did not know that. I did not know that going into it. I did not think I would look forward to it so much. So, keep an open mind. The open mind opens new doors. This is a quote from one of the cups. These are cups we had sent out to our Tint Wiz users. Light's making it a little hard to read, but basically what it says is old ways won't open new doors. And that applies, I think, to absolutely everything. It's a quote that I put on these cups so that, you guys could be reminded every single day. Keep an open mind. Don't treat your customers the old way. Don't do anything the old way. Always be looking to improve, do things a slightly new way, because if you're improving, you're moving forward. If you're moving forward, there's no limit to where you're going to be as your life progresses and as time moves. So that's that. So we have about 19 people in here, and yeah, we are looking through the comments. So I'm really curious, like if we have about 19 people in here, like tell me in these comments, like I really want to know if you are planning on going to your manufacturer's meetings, if you wish your manufacturer had a meeting and they don't, what you've liked at previous meetings, liked most and disliked most, and so on, because I think that's not only helpful for other people to get an idea of why they should attend these meetings, but it's also valuable for the manufacturers who watch Tint Wisdom, and they can go ahead and see, wow, these were things that some people found valuable. Maybe these are things we should do again, or we should do for the first time. So one of the things that I found the most valuable thing I've ever seen, in my opinion, at a window film conference, and it actually is a yearly thing. I hope I'm not giving away a secret sauce, but if I am, I hope it's for the benefit, and I hope I'm still invited back. But at the Select Pro meetings by Eastman, Select Pro, Formula One, and Vista meetings, they do a segment. It's the last day of the meeting, and what they do is they just do a breakfast. They do breakfast every day, but what they do at this breakfast is they have the breakfast, and they just basically open it to anybody who wants to bring up any topics. And it's just like a round table. It's one big round table of everybody who wants to be there. People stand up, they grab the mic, and they, ask questions, they answer questions, they talk about things, and to me, out of the entire meeting, out of the motivational speakers, out of the breakout sessions, out of the networking, out of everything, though that like 1 hour, 1.5 hour, to me is worth the entire trip. I get more out of that. I enjoy more like hearing about what everybody's doing and what everybody has to say. And you just see like everybody's eyes light up because they're getting the answers to their questions. And it's all like one-on-one. It's all tinters sharing information with other tinters. So, to me, I think that's something that every dealer meeting should be doing. Because, it's great to sit up there and like we're doing, and, I'm telling you everything that I have to say, but really when you get all you guys into a room and get to hear what you have to say, the value is tremendous. So that's something that I found super important at the Vista Formula One meetings that I absolutely love. And I hope to see at other meetings. So with that said, I think we're going to wrap up this Tint Wisdom. We're in just under an hour. If there's any questions, if you're watching this after it was recorded, please leave a comment. I check all the comments afterwards. Whether you leave the comment an hour after or a month after, I'm still going to check the comment. I'm still going to reply to that comment. So please, if you're watching this afterward, please leave a comment, ask any questions. If you're watching live, thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate each and every one of you that watches live and participates in, whether you participate or you don't. Just the fact that you watch means a whole lot to me. And I hope y'all will join me this Thursday. We have an interview planned with a great of the industry, someone with over 20 years experience in this industry and experience in many different roles without the industry. He's seen it all, and I'm really excited to get a chance to sit down and do the interview. It'll be at the same place, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on our Facebook page. Right after this, I'm going to go ahead and put up a post with a reminder for that. So if you think you're going to forget, just click that you want to go ahead and be reminded of that event, and it'll remind you a little before we go live. So thank you, Patrick. Thank you. I appreciate that. He said awesome job. So awesome job from Patrick to me is a huge ego boost, because Patrick is definitely one of the greats. He is an OG in the live streaming. He's been doing this way before me, and you know, Patrick's one of those guys that like I first became aware of through YouTube. And you know, when you discover someone through YouTube and you watch their videos, and then like a year, 2 years later you meet them in person, there's like a little bit of like celebrity factor no matter who it is, and then that celebrity factor sticks with you. So I definitely appreciate I appreciate the kind words, Patrick. You're definitely a tint celeb to me. And Ed said knowledge is power. Absolutely. Knowledge is power. So that is why we do this, and why I appreciate everybody always sharing. I appreciate the tint groups. There's so many tint groups. There's so much drama within the tint groups. My dream is that one day there could be a tint group, only one tint group, that all the tint groups could combine into one, and there would be maybe like 2 rules, just 2, not a lot, just like 2, and you know, be nice to each other. And I don't know, there'd be one more rule. I feel like there has to be one other. Maybe there could just be one rule. But basically, I love tint groups. If you're not part of all the tint groups, I suggest you join them all. Window Tinting Business, Window Tinters United, Window Film Revolution, Window Tinters Feud, RX Film, or you know, there's so many. They all really do have a different angle and approach. And I love them all. I just hope to see one day there'll be no drama, because when the more people you get together, the more opinions you get, the more sharing of products, the more sharing of knowledge. And I feel like so much comes out of that. So thank you to all those who contribute to those groups. And, you know, I definitely recommend you join them. And last, thank you, Chris. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And thank you, Betsy, as well. And last thing is, don't forget, 9 o'clock today, 9 o'clock Eastern, Facebook Live. I'll be in the comments. I hope to see you there. And then Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Tint Wisdom plus a guest. This will be our second one. And yeah, it'll be our second one, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll see you then. Thank you all for watching.